Hi everybody. Well done for keeping going with this. I know we're going glacially slowly, and I'm just drip feeding stuff in. Some of you, I know, can respond to it and make comments. Some of you are just kind of observing from the sidelines. Both is fine, but I hope you're finding something useful, some little nuggets. So far in the Inspire course, the material that we've gone through, we've looked at why it's so important to pass on our faith to our children, why it's of value to us. And we've looked at some of the hurdles involved in modern life in trying to communicate faith to children. We've also looked at some of the ways in which we can accidentally put barriers in the children's way as well, when we choose our own ways of expressing faith rather than helping our children find their own. It's all really about a connectedness to God, isn't it? And that's what we're trying to build with our children. So we're going to now move on to those 4 cornerstones that sort of zoomed up into the 4 corners of the screen in that second half of that video, which is home, being real, being intentional, and belonging. And in the center of all that is prayer, the centrality of prayer. So we're going to take those one at a time. So today we're going to look at home. And the phrase that was given was that a warm, affirming family helps a child to feel safe, loved, and accepted, and creates a secure foundation for faith to grow. So if you think about it as faith is what we're trying to sort of get to seep into our children, we want to marinate them in faith so it sort of gets into the core of their being. We want to sort of give them a sort of milieu, an environment of faith. Home is the container in which you put the marinade and put the children or meat joints or whatever you're marinating. So home is the container for the marinades to go in. It has to be the right kind of container. So I just want to talk to you about this idea of home as a warm and affirming place where children can feel safe, loved, and accepted. Security is a really key thing. And security comes from the children knowing where they are. When children feel insecure, they have tantrums, because they feel stressed, they feel lost, they feel all at sea. So your children will have tantrums, and sometimes it is pig-headedness and part of growing up and finding their own ways of expressing their emotions. But they're more prone to tantrums and meltdowns if they don't know where they are, if they're all at sea. And one key thing for us as parents to do is to be consistent. Then the children know where they are and they can be more secure. So we need to say what we mean and mean what we say. Don't threaten something as a punishment if you know you're probably not going to carry it out. Yesterday I heard my neighbours telling their child, because he wouldn't get off the trampoline, he wasn't going to have the ice cream he'd chosen from the ice cream van after tea. And from their tone of voice, I pretty much knew that he was going to get it. They were just kind of dangling it. And I think he knew that as well, and he did not get off the trampoline. And I think he ate it as well. I think I heard him eating it. So say what you mean and mean what you say. Think carefully about the sort of threatened punishments and be prepared to carry it out, or don't say it at all. Secondly, we need to agree between ourselves and our partner what it is, what our standards are. I would say you need as few rules as possible in a home, but the ones you make are the ones you absolutely stand by. And you need to agree them together and agree the consequences together. And always carry it out and back one another up. So you see that you don't have to have another parent of faith or of the same faith or even a partner at all to be able to have that consistency. You just need to agree your standards and stick to it. Remember that there are other things that are boundaries that you can be flexible about. So for example, bedtime. You might be strict on a bedtime on a school night, but then at the weekend, in the holidays, COVID lockdown, we can be more flexible about that. So just think about what are your rules. You're absolutely going to stand and defend and back up with a consequence. And always remember to carry out that consequence and back one another up as partners. So that's one key thing. And I would say always explain what is going to happen to children. If you don't get off the trampoline and come and have tea, you won't be able to eat your ice cream. If you get off now, then you can. And if you feel you need to do something like a countdown, count down, don't count up, don't count 1, 2, 3. Again, my neighbour said 3 and then she made it 5 and then she overruled that. Count down to 1, 3, 2, 1. Don't get to 0 and don't get to negative numbers or fractions. 3, 2, 1. Now you won't have it. You might be able to say, if you sit down nicely, you may be able to have it tomorrow. We'll keep it for you. But don't give in and change. So consistency is really important. Just parental consistency is a foundation for faith. God is consistent. God is the same yesterday, today and forever. And we are the first and most important people to our children. And we model something of that in being a consistent parent. Feeling loved and accepted. How can we do that for our children? Well, God is all about relationship. Family is all about relationship. And it's about building in fun times as well as being their parent. Don't mistake yourself as their friend, although we're better than a friend because we're a parent. But we can have great fun together with our children and both us and them, be blessed by that. How can you do that? Well, in the everyday, of course, you can have routines. Routines allow for things that have to be done, and then to make time for, things that we enjoy. So always trying to build into every day a bit of a routine that allows for, the shoes to be put on at the right time, the food to be eaten at the right time, the washing in the bath, but then there's playtime in the bath, assuming there's enough cooperation, obviously, because if they spend the whole time fighting that they're not going to get in the bath, then you may have to say there won't be enough time unless you're quick for your fun time. Family traditions are an absolute cornerstone of family life, and they're a cornerstone of building up identity as a family, and that means that you are building into family life great fun and things to look forward to. And you can have all kinds of traditions. You can have traditions you do each week, traditions that only happen on birthdays and at Christmas, holiday traditions. And they don't need to be like huge set pieces, one of our holiday traditions was we had corner yogurts to eat on holiday. Like, it's just what you pick up in the shop. We had to pick up something, we picked them up. We have traditions that make life easier, but it's fun. So things like we have baked beans on toast on a Saturday, which is easier than any other meal of the week, but we eat it in front of the TV instead of at the table. So we have all kinds of traditions, some weekly, some on special occasions, and it's what our children look back at. If I said to you, what was family life like when you were growing up, you will instantly think back to the traditions we always used to. When we were on holiday, this, that and the other. So those are the things that build family life and fun and identity. So this whole parenting course is written on making the home a secure foundation for your children. And I could say a lot more. But do think about the regular aspects of family life and how you can just be consistent and express that loving acceptance of your children. Having those routines of meal times and bedtimes and bath times and getting up all help your children to know who they are and where they are in a secure place. And always try and catch your children doing something good. We all get caught up in don't do this, don't do that. For goodness sake, put that down. We're still doing it with peers. But catch them doing something good. Praise them, appreciate them. Remember languages of love and try and show your children in their special expression of love how much you love and care for them. I'll put a little post up for that in this group so that we can remind ourselves of the love languages and how to show care for people with different love languages. So that's pretty much it. That's plenty to be going on with. So again, as I say, we could do 8 2-hour sessions on just building up a warm, secure family life. But those are some key pointers. Do feel free to put your thoughts and comments in the WhatsApp stream, and I'll leave it for now, and I will see some of you hopefully tomorrow on Thursday night for our weekly chit chat and prayer. Okay, take care.